Shooting better than I thought. What is up, you guys? I hope you all had an awesome Christmas. I know we did. We got some very exciting news this year. We was not expecting that I will post on a future video, not right this minute. I usually don't get all excited for Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays and so on and so forth, other than the time that I get off to go fishing and hunting. I know why you're here. You've seen the thumbnail. That's what you want to know about. You want to know about that Killer Instinct Motive 405. You want to know how she shoots. You want to know what we think. And we're going to give it to you. Now, I will tell you, I've searched YouTube all over. There is no review for the Motive 405. There's a bunch of different models of the Killer Instincts, okay? But the Motive, there is not one review, not one. So we'll be the first. You know, for a budget bow, you really can't go wrong with this thing. It's my opinion. Again, I've never owned a crossbow. I can't tell you if this one is a better budget bow than whatever. I'm just telling you my opinion of this one. And we're gonna shoot a little bit, show you how it shoots, show you how to cock it, how to decock it, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's get on with the video. All right, y'all, so before we get on with too much of the video, remember, if you like what you see, subscribe, give us that thumbs up, click that little notification bell, that way you'll never miss any of our uploads, and share our content. All right, y'all, so not only did I buy something without reviewing it, I also did something that I never do. Check this out. I don't ever buy anything off display. You never know how many times it's been dropped, scratched, snotty fingers all over it. You just never know. But I was impatient and I wanted one. I could have went to the one at Corpus Christi. They could have ordered me one. I went ahead and said, I'll do it. Now, again, I've never had a crossbow, but I know enough about this area because I know plenty about bows. So checked all that out. Everything was good. So I said, you know what? Fine. Ring me up, sister. She did. So far, everything's worked out great. Now, I don't like unboxing videos, so I'm not gonna unbox, but I will show you the box that it came in and kind of show you some of the info instead of me having to read off my phone or something. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the info that comes off the box. So, 405 FPS. Now that 405 is with the Hyperlight arrows, bolts that come with it. Talk a little about that in a minute. 134 foot-pound of energy. Trigger weight is 3.5. I think it's a little bit more than that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 35 3/4 to 37 3/4 long. 14 3/4 when she's sucked in, cocked, ready to go, ready to fire, and 18 3/4 when she's released the way she is right now. 14.5 inch power stroke, which is your ready to go. 210 pound draw weight. Trust me, with those little cocking ropes, it's not that much at all for anybody that looks at that. 7.6 pounds is what it said it weighs. I think it weighs a little more. I may weigh it on my scale. Probably not, but it weighs, I think it weighs a little bit more than that. And it comes with 3 Hyperlight 20-inch arrows. I meant bolts. You're gonna hear me say arrows and bow a lot. I've already said that. But anyway, let's talk about the first thing. The Hyperlight arrows it comes with. I'm not a guru when it comes to crossbows. I know nothing about them. I've said it already a few times and I'll keep saying it. But I know people that have had crossbows, and I've heard this thing brought up a few times. Do not get too light of a bolt because essentially it's a dry fire on this crossbow. Now the crossbow has a lot more force coming down than a regular compound bow, okay? You need some resistance. And these Hyperlights are right at 370 with the 100 grain insert. So that's a light bolt. I called Killer Instinct and they said absolutely heavier you can use. It's not a problem. There's nothing that's too heavy that they know about, you know. Heavy, you know, to me, I think heavier is better anyway. It's always a little bit more accurate, you know, with whether it's an arrow, an ammo, whatever, it usually has better performance. So I went and it's a budget bow, so I wanted to keep it, everything budget, right? By the way, I haven't said how much this thing costs yet. It's $300, okay? They had it on sale for $250, okay? So I picked this thing up for 250 bucks. I wanted to keep this all budget, so they sell these at Academy, but they were out. These are these, am I upside down? Mossy Oak 20-inch bolts. They were out at Academy, so I walked right next door to Walmart. Now, I need to tell you this. When I talked to the manufacturer, there's one bolt that they recommend not putting in any of their crossbows. It is the Carbon Express pile driver. I'm not going to sit here and argue about it. I'm not an engineer. I'm not somebody who's experienced that much in this stuff to argue it. I just know if the manufacturer says, hey, don't put so-and-so in there, don't do it. So there it is. There was what I told you. I'm passing this along. Do not use the Carbon Express pile driver. If it was me, I wouldn't use anything Carbon Express. Just nip it in the bud. These little cheap, now I say cheap, these are actually more than the Carbon Express. The Carbon Express were 5 something, and these are $7 and some change arrow for these Mossy Oaks. But anyway, so that's the arrow, the bolt part of it. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, let's kind of go over everything else. So when I picked this up, obviously this is a display model, was already put together. 100% I was not gonna shoot this thing until I went through everything. I mean, I went through the front. Let me see, I went through everything, you hear me? I mean, I checked out every screw that could come off, okay? The only thing I didn't take apart actually is the limb bolts themselves, but I made sure they were tight. But every other little screw I took out, every single one of them, and red Loctited and put it back in, even from the hand guards down here, all the little screws, sure you can see those, all the way down here by the buttstock, all the way down it, underneath, anywhere where there was a screw, I made sure that I Loctited it. Also, again, when I got home, I went thoroughly over again all the limbs. I really do like that pattern. It's actually a nice pattern, looks cool. Went through everything and made sure everything was kosher. Nothing was damaged. Strings, cams, all that was good. Actually took the scope rail off itself. I wound up taking that scope rail off, tightening those bolts or those screws under there with red Loctite as well. Checked all this out. Don't really know, again, I'm learning. Don't know what kind of maintenance, if those need to be oiled at all or anything. Haven't done that as of yet. The buttstock, any AR style buttstock is gonna fit on this. That's what it's made for. Now, again, when I told you guys, people were complaining about noise. This buttstock, so once you get it to the set position you like, this little screw right here, if you tighten that, it keeps it from being loose and it locks it down into that position. So if you're gonna say that this is too noisy, use your head a little bit, okay? I told you guys I could not find any reviews on YouTube as far as the video, and I have not. I found just a handful of reviews on the internet just over the motive. And out of the 5 reviews I found, 3 were positive, 2 were negative. Okay, one that was negative was this being loose, rattling, and the other one where the limbs broke. Come to find out, a gentleman shot the bolt through without putting the 100 grain insert in, which made this only 270 grains. Well, I'm just gonna leave that there. Made it too light. It is what it is. I'm sure some of these higher end crossbows can handle a dry fire or two, but again, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money just to keep from doing something that I know better. The handle, it's all right. I've seen a lot of it. I think they're kind of gaudy. I'd like if this thing was just a straight rail, but I understand why they do this. They put that there with the hand guard so you don't get your hand up here. I understand all that. The scope is not a, can't even find a name brand on it. It's not the high-end scope, but it's a good scope. I had no problem sighting it in. I really haven't. Let me see if I can just get in there and show you there it is. It's got the lines on it. It's for a crossbow. There you go. Bouncing in and out. It's kind of hard. Anyway, went ahead and made sure I mounted that right. Put that down. Got the old fat wrench on there. 18 inch pounds. Just like any other scope. Have had no issues. Now, Here's a couple of the things that I think, as a consumer, they should fix, okay? Improve on, let's just say that. Listen to this trigger. Well, you can see it too. See how much play there is? Okay. Now, that trigger actually, oops, sorry. There's a pin right here. The pin goes through right down there, and that's where the trigger, see it bouncing around? The trigger just basically pivots off that point to activate the release. It's not loud. It does have some play. At first I thought I had a faulty trigger, but after talking to some people, this is normal. Now, I would like to see that tightened. Hell, I may even knock that pin out myself and see if there's a way I can get this to be a little tighter. But I know me, when I start messing with shit, I'll go from a simple fix, this thing will be no longer any good to use. The next thing, this safety. It's a little loud. Now, this isn't deal breakers to me. Again, this is a budget bow. That's not a deal breaker. The fact that it makes a click doesn't really bother me that much, but I know that people are gonna be out there that's gonna complain, it's gonna scare all my deer away. No, it's not. This right here, my only concern of this, it hasn't gotten any worse, is can this get worse over time? That's my only considerate thing, because this is plastic. The trigger is a plastic. It's a polymer. This is all polymer right here, okay? The body right here. Now, this is aluminum. This is aluminum. The only thing is polymer is pretty much, I guess you would say, the stock. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It's very tough. I've had no issues with it. It's got a little slot here. This is where your cocking rope goes. I love the cocking rope. This isn't your typical cocking rope where it has just the two hooks that go down and grab. This is actually fitted to slide over the rail while you pull it up, and I'm gonna show you how we do that in a minute. And the last thing I didn't show you was up under here, if the sun don't get you, is there's a rail, okay? There's a little Picatinny rail you can put some accessories on. Now, I actually have it on the lug right here. You got one of these right here that I've got my little bipod hooked up to the little Caldwell. So it's got one of those there too. You know, if you want to tie off, they get you a sling stud here, from there to there, whatever. It's got some other stuff in here, accessories for your buttstock again. But other than that, guys, with the string stops, it's pretty quiet. It's got these all the way through it. It's a good shooting bow, okay? I don't want to get too technical because I'm not the person that can tell you all the technical stuff. All I can tell you is this thing shoots good. It really does. Now, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and show you how this works. What I didn't tell you is it has the option for it fits in back here. You've seen them, the little crank, you know what I mean? But they're $100. Look, it's faster to use that hand crank, pull that, be ready to go, than to put that thing on there and, you know, and get it. But yes, I know it's easier. You don't have to, you could do it in the blind or whatever. The only thing that hand crank is gonna be justified, in my opinion, is decocking, because the way this currently sets, to decock this, you have to have a decocking bolt or basically shoot it into something. So that's just the way it is, which it ain't bad. I'll just carry, you know, an old bolt or something and just shoot it into the ground, something I'm not worried about. That's all I'm gonna do for right now. Anyway, let's quit talking about this. I'm gonna show you how this cocks, and we're gonna put a couple rounds down range there and show you how she shoots. With this cocking rope, simply you wanna take it. This is what I found the best, fastest way. Take it, pull it like this, grab it with both hands, okay? You wanna put this behind, back here, bring it down. These simply grab the strings on each side of the rail, pull it up. There you go. If you hear some squeaking, that's not the rail, it's not the strings. It's these little pulleys in here. I guess they're wearing in on a little oil or something, but that's what you're hearing squeaking. But I like this. I like the way that this rides on that rail and it grabs them versus those two little hooks. Once again, once that's locked, it already sets it in safety, so you're ready to go. Now, I'm not at all gonna tell you how to load your crossbow. I'm not gonna tell you how to do anything like that. That is not my job. So I'm simply just gonna adjust this here for my shot. Load my crossbow here. Once I get to where I like it, there you go. What I'm gonna do, I need to show you, I guess. I'm gonna fire these 3 shots down there. I'm gonna fire these 3. I'm gonna try to get it recorded in actual time too. I don't want you guys to think I'm pulling a fast one on you. But go ahead and take safety off. There's 1. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Surely I really want to show you this 30 yard shots. So these are all 20 yard shots. There's number 3. Take safety off. So I sighted this thing in this morning and the wind was blowing from left to right. It's a very tight group down there, but you can see now that the wind has kind of stopped, I'm probably gonna have to pull it over. But anyway, look at the groups, man. I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna take it down there and show you what it is at 20 yards. That's where we're shooting. There's 20 yards. Just to prove it to you, let's see if I can make this happen. There we go, 20 yards from where we're sitting right here. Let's go check it out. Like I said, this morning when I was shooting, wind was blowing this way pretty good. So I had to drag everything over. Now that the wind is pretty much stopped. Oh, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Sheesh. That is a tight group, buddy. For a $250 bow, you know, and you're not the most expensive arrows. Sheesh. So let me go pull these out and we'll take it to 30 and see what happens. All right, go ahead and cock and lock it, ready to rock. We'll go at 30 yards. Let's see. We'll see what 30 yards is holding like. So, like I said this morning, when I sighted this thing in, the wind was blowing from left to right. Brought them over. That's why the 20 yards, it was over a little bit. But anyway, let's see what 30 yards will do. Now, I will tell you, if you don't know anything about crossbows, if you do, it's a different kind of recoil. It's not the boom, it's like the back, it's a different kind of recoil. You gotta get used to it. Some right in my face. All right, 30 yards, commencing fire. Take safety off first. Heck, come on. Okay, here we go. Woo. And when it's cocked, locked, and ready to rock, there we go. There we go. 30 yards, commencing fire. Not bad. Okay, commencing fire on 30 yards. Yeah. It's at 3 shots. Don't ask me why. But anyway, that's 30 yards. Bring the camera over here, show you down there and show you through here that we're at 30 yards. Where we're at, let's see if I can do my magic again. $30 yards. Okay, let's go take a look, see. Looks like we're doing pretty, yeah, oh man. Oh yeah, so they're spot on. I see what happened there. It hit, curved up like I said I thought it did. So we're hitting good, oh man. Come on, come on. Yeah, we are, what am I hitting in there? Something hard in there. I don't know. That one, I really got in there, but anyway, you see the groups. That's a pretty good group for 30 yards. Let me get this arrow pulled out. All right, you guys, let's wrap this up. Is this worth 250 bucks? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Is it worth 300? It's normal price. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The thing's well worth it. It shoots awesome. Everything about it I like. Having never been a crossbow owner, I don't have another one to compare it to. So I can't tell you, oh, you know, the other one I had was, you know, so much better, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care about any of the other ones. I care about this one. And this one it's really impressed me. It shoots good, pretty easy to sight in. I will say, like I said earlier, the recoil on these things are different than a rifle. Usually with a rifle, you've got that bang. This has got that kind of twang. It's a little bit different, but once you get used to it, being that it is budget, you got a trigger that's a little hard, okay? Now, talking about this trigger can't get any looser, it can't do anything else. If that bothers you, well then go on and buy another one. I don't know what to tell you. I can't sit here and sugarcoat everything to people. If that noise of that safety bothers you, well then go on and buy another one. I'm just gonna tell you, if you're gonna pass this thing up because of this trigger and this safety, well, you're passing up a very good crossbow, in my opinion, okay? Again, like I said before, having not ever owned a crossbow, I've shot different ones. I've shot the higher ends. I've shot the Raven. I got to shoot that one time, and man, it felt like just, you didn't feel anything, right? Well, those are, you know, $1,000 plus bow. It better, you know, shoot like that. But I'm not gonna pay that kind of money for what? To do the same thing this is gonna do? You know what I mean? I like my 20 or out to, I say 40 yards. From 0 to 40 yards is what I like to use my bow on. I'm not John Dudley. I'm not taking 80-yard shots just because I'll do it on a range to play around, but I'm not doing it for an animal. That's just not me. Same with this. 40 yards is probably the max with this. And if you ask me, I think this is probably, and I don't want to, you know, killer instinct, don't get mad at me. This is probably a 40 to 60 yard max bow you want to use on this. I know it has 405 speed, but again, that was 405 with the hyperlights. But I would think out to 40 yards is probably what you really want. Anything more than that, you might as well use a rifle anyway, man. You use these things because you can get close up on an animal. I love that. Just reach out and just slap that old pig on the ass, you're so close, you know what I mean? Grab that old doe by the ears and just, but anyway, I do love this thing, I really do. I'm not saying it because I bought it. If I didn't like it, I'd tell you. I did tell you things I wish they would improve on. Again, the trigger, if they make that safety just a little bit quieter. Other than that, again, as per Killer Instinct, guys, remember this, do not fire Carbon Express pile drivers through these crossbows. I would stick away from Carbon Express, period, until they nip that in the bud and really get nipped down to which Carbon Express bolts are good and which are not. There's plenty of bolts out there, plenty to choose from. Again, this being a budget bow, went to Walmart Academy. They got the bolts I need. Don't want to drag this on anymore, man. I hope y'all liked the video. If you did, subscribe, man. Give us a thumbs up. Remember, click that little video bell right there. You'll never miss any of our uploads. Share our content, help us get us out there. We will have some more videos on fishing, but anyway, we got some more hunting videos to do. I'm hoping to put out another 1 or 2 before I go back to work next week. Maybe throw a little day of fishing in there with it, a couple minutes of it, but I'm hoping to get some hunting in. I really want to put this thing to the test. I know it's gonna knock an animal down, no problem. As accurate as it shoots, if you guys know me, I'm gonna go for the old medulla oblongata. okay? Yeah, I'm gonna use the broadhead. I'm not gonna use the field tip, but I am gonna use the broadhead, and we've got some deer coming in 19, 20 yards, and this thing, you saw what it did at 20 yards. It holds a group less than an inch, so might have to do it. Appreciate you guys. Hey, every chance y'all get, wet a line, let an arrow fly, put some rounds on range. See y'all next time.